And we are live. Look at that.
Woohoo!
Well,
Do we have anybody? Anybody out there? Hello.
I don't think so now.
Usually it puts the number up here somewhere.
It does, yeah. Actually, we do have somebody on. So,
all right.
Hello there. Welcome to the Cult Lords 3-year anniversary live stream for the next hour. So,
just us talking.
Just us talking. Yeah.
About nothing.
So
stare at the camera for 3 hours for an hour.
Whoever you are the first, and we want to thank you for joining us.
Yeah. You got a question for us? We got stuff to talk about, but we'll give people time to
start
hook up and get on.
Yeah.
But we're definitely going to cover a broad range of stuff that we've, past, present, future.
Yeah. What have you been watching lately, Dane?
Rings of Power.
How is that?
It's as good as the first one.
Yeah.
Just a lot of people were dismayed with how the original one was done the first season because they were expecting Lord of the Rings, and Silmarillion is much more epic, so they got to space things out a lot more. 8 shows, so there are a lot more talking points of saying, hitting out in a bar, and just what did you see about that elf running through? She was pretty hot, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, I just started Tulsa Kings season 2. So I've been watching that.
Cool.
Yeah. Looks like we got 3 folks now in, three viewers. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cult Lords 3-year anniversary live stream.
We made it without killing each other.
Yeah. It's amazing that as we've been doing this for 3 years now. The funny thing is, if a little history on us is, we've known each other for, 16 years now, 17 years.
Well,
actually more.
98.
Yeah, if you go, actually more. But we used to work together, and when we found out what we both love movies, we started going out watching movies. Getting a drink. Right after work, then discussing them, and we love movies so much that in college I had 3 film courses and thought I was going to work in it. Dane here was in a Chicago script writing club, where he was with a lot of aspiring script writers writing scripts.
Yep.
And then, we would always see these movies, and then came COVID, right? And we stopped going to see these movies because of COVID, right? But during that time, I started watching YouTube channels like, The Real Rejects and Red Letter Media. And I'm like, Dane, these guys are just talking about movies. You know what I mean? We should do that.
I know movie.
Yeah. We should just get on and start talking about movies, right? So we actually came up with the idea in 2020, and then we worked to get it all worked out. Took a while. Took about 9 months.
Got to put the layer together, get all the bits and pieces.
Yeah. Researching cameras, researching
names.
Yeah. Going through names, logos, everything.
Like 60 names.
But then we started the Cult Lords. And for those of you that are on right now, Dane has a big announcement to make. Big announcement to make.
Big announcement. I think this needs the bell. We just hit 5,000. Thank you, everybody. 5,000 subscribers.
Yes. Like
literally.
Right before we started the stream, we were like 3 subscribers away from 5,000. And we were like wondering, I wonder if we'll get that during our live stream. And then he just pointed out to me, what are we at now? 5,001?
5,001. 2.
So we got 5 subscribers like in the last 5 minutes. So that is amazing.
Put us over the top.
That is amazing.
Let's see. We were 3 weeks ago at 654.
We were 695. We were about 695. Yeah.
Oh,
because I was thinking, oh my gosh, we're about to hit 700 subscribers.
Okay. Well,
and then the craziest thing happened. We had been putting out some shorts, trying that out, and we put one out.
By the way.
What's that?
Maybe need to close this because no one's closed that little X. What's that little X?
No, that's not an X. That's the logo.
I'm just surprised we're not hearing it.
Yeah. So Actually, if somebody could help us out, just type something in chat so we know the chat's working. Just say hi.
Yeah, we're not seeing any names. So.
Yeah, that would be helpful. If just somebody would say hi real quick and just let us know the chat is working. But no, we were at like 695 subscribers.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, T Weber 1000. Hey,
thank you.
Thank you for doing that and letting us know.
What a great subscriber you are. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, we don't know if he's a subscriber. Anyone can.
We don't know if it's a he.
That's right. We don't know.
But we question in, and we'd love to answer.
Yeah, we appreciate you helping us.
Zartar, what is that in the big? The guy that answers the forecast predictions.
Yeah. So no, we were doing shorts, and we put out one that I thought it was like the perfect short. It's 1 minute long. It's a Star Wars about Lando Calrissian and Princess Leia maybe having a secret affair. And it tells a story over 60 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
And we had put that out about 4 weeks ago. And we got like maybe 600 views on it. And then it like just stopped, right? And so we're like, oh, okay. Got 600 views on that. The next thing you know, it starts taking off.
What have we here?
It starts taking off.
There we go.
To like 1,200.
It did take off.
200 or 2,000, 3,000, 5,000, 6,000. We now have around 32,000 views on that Star Wars short. I think somebody had mentioned that it might have gotten posted in a Star Wars forum. I have yet to find out what Star Wars forum that is. I've kind of looked around. I haven't found it. But that started the growth of subscribers, because with that over 30,000 views, we suddenly got like 2,500 subscribers just from that short. And so it's kind of funny. We almost went 3 years with just having about 700 subscribers. And then in like 3 weeks, we're up to like 5,000 subscribers.
Yes. So thank you, everybody. You subscribe. We hope more people. How many do we got on here anyways?
4.
All right. Well, you 4 are the most important. First in line, you get the front row. So we are here to answer some questions.
Yeah. Anybody wants to pose any questions, we'll answer any questions. But it's been an interesting 3 years, Dane. What is like a memory for you, or like a funny moment, or a great part of the last 3 years that you just remember?
Well, we put so much effort into so many different shows, and we tried different things and different videos, and obviously stuff in the early days. Very early days was really long, and we've tried to get them shorter and shorter, and unfortunately we like to talk. But the one that always stands out to me is Mandy.
Yes.
Because there was so much like for lack of a better, like or other, title wash that came from that particular show.
Yeah.
A movie, actually. It was because we had heard about it. We actually did a live react. I don't remember. We watched it on camera.
Yeah, we did watch it on camera, and we never posted that. I think we posted some bits or some pieces of it of us watching it live. We've never done a live reaction, to a movie.
And the thing that was impactful for me, for movie lovers, is Nick Cage's performance in that. I actually think that is still his best performance I've ever seen.
Yeah. Well, and
tidy whities.
Yes. and another thing that, kind of piggybacking on that Mandy review was we went to Comic-Con. And we are walking through, and we see like a 2-story poster of Nick Cage and Mandy. And we're like, oh my God, like we were like freaking out. And
production company.
Yeah. And it was the production company Legion M, which I became a member of.
You're a proud card carrying member of Legion M.
I have become an investor in Legion M.
Big bucks off of How much money have you made off of Legion M?
Probably 0.
Did your name appear in anything?
Well, yeah, like my name's probably in like their like annual report and stuff like that. And just, I got a T-shirt, I got a certificate of how many shares I own of Legion M. I think I own like 300 shares of Legion M. But
if you donate a certain amount of money or you buy, you get your name put at the bottom of the credits and the rolling of whatever the movie was that they produced.
Yeah.
I haven't looked lately.
So anyways, so it was the production company, and we actually got to meet the marketing person for Mandy, and her name was Mandy.
Yes,
Mandy Barbarian or something like that. Or so I don't know. We're friends. She follows us. And the funny thing is, we told her, oh, we're big fans of Mandy. We run this YouTube channel. And she goes, oh, would you guys like to do some live read-ins for us? And we're like, sure. And she goes, yeah, we just need you to have 5,000 subscribers. And at that time, we had like 200 subscribers.
It was really early.
It was very early in the
in
game.
the gladiator pit.
So we're like, you know what? We don't have 5,000 subscribers. We can't do the live read. Or
5,014 now.
Yeah, she said when you get to 5,000, contact us, and we'd love you guys to do some live in-show read-ins of like our movies, right?
We'd love to do that,
So,
H&M, please.
Yeah. So that was a fun moment in our history.
Yeah. So that one I really see as the epitome of, like, I think we've never really repeated that, where we met marketing people
From a movie studio.
We got some plush dolls. You see Nick Cage up there with his glaive, and we got the macaroni goblin.
Yeah, cheddar
and
goblin.
There was some other stuff too.
Yeah.
I don't know what you got, but yeah. So
So that was
it
exciting.
was fun.
Another exciting.
What did you have?
Another exciting thing that happened, if you remember, this was earlier this year. I went to and we only had about maybe 600 subscribers at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Never had I thought this would happen, but I go to this collectibles show in Romeoville, or no, it was in
Romeoville,
like Palos Park or something like that. So I go to this show, and there's like maybe 60 dealer tables there, and there's like there's a couple hundred, well, actually several hundred people walking around. So I go to this dealer table, and I'm looking at like some like comic books that they had on the table, and I'm just looking there, and I could feel out of the corner of my eye this guy eyeballing me, right? And I thought, he thinks I'm gonna like steal something, right, or something like that. He's eyeballing me, and so I look up at him, and I look back down, and he's staring me through, and then finally he goes, "Hey, do you run a YouTube channel?"
What?
I told you this story.
No.
I did tell you this story.
A guy recognized you?
I called you from the show. I go, you
Oh.
won't believe what happened.
You call me all the time like that.
No, this is the only time this has ever happened. And this guy goes, do you run our YouTube channel? And I go, yes, I do. And he goes, yeah, I've seen you guys. I've seen you guys do like movie reviews and stuff like that.
And
This was like back in March of this year.
Oh. Okay.
And so I called my parents. I called you. I go, guess what? Somebody recognized me from the show, like on the street.
Himself.
So, yeah.
JR himself.
So that was an exciting moment. What was another exciting moment over the last 3 years for you?
I'm trying to think if there's like, getting introduced to other YouTubers.
Right.
There's a number of us that kind of started at the same time. And, in one way or another, we provided support, answered questions, took part in other people's activities like Spoiler Kings and
Zack
Attack and A&B Horror.
A&B Horror. They've been good partners too.
We've been, and so it's been fun kind of connecting with the community. I always kind of joked. I thought we needed to have in the early days, and I still think we need to have a big group convention of, everyone at 1,000 and below subscribers getting together and figuring out how to best move this forward.
So we got a question.
Oh, we do.
You want to read that question?
Oh. We are watching The Omen tonight. Are the other any older horror movies that you would recommend? Man, that is one huge question. We could be talking about that all night.
Yeah.
Older horror movies.
Yes.
So, we assume you've seen Salem's Lot. That one just came out.
From 79.
79.
There's been a
Stephen
remake.
King, and they just remade it for HBO Max.
Right.
And we did a review on it, but I definitely think you should watch that just to kind of see how that all plays out. But older horror movies, there's the Hammer production series.
Well, there's a lot of Hammer. If you go Google Hammer horror movies, you will find a lot of horror movies that were made by a company called Hammer in the 60s and the 70s.
Yeah.
and they are the B movies, right? They didn't make the
But they're
mainstream.
really good quality beats.
Some of them are really,
It's all like
really interesting.
Christopher Lee,
Yeah,
right?
there's
then
some
you got
Christopher Lee in
Peter
there.
Cushing and
Yes.
playing Frankenstein.
Yeah.
The scientist. Those are actually really good.
Right.
But one of the ones that I discovered, and you had already seen it, but it was called Dracula A.D. 1972. I think it was called that.
Mhm.
And it takes place. So this one I highly recommend because culturally it's really interesting. It takes place in 1972 in London during like kind of the swinging, tail end of the hippie movement, and it's very like what's his name, Austin Powers,
Right.
mixed in with like vampires.
Right.
And there's this scene where they're in this like high society mansion, and it's early on, and they're having this like wild dance party on the
Right.
piano, and they got a band down there, and they're called like the Stonehenge or something
Yeah.
like that. I can't remember the name of it. And you're like, who is this band? It's like
Right.
this fully professional. I looked it up, California band, but it's a really well done. It has, I think there's like there's the usual. I think Peter Cushing plays
Right.
Van Helsing, and the whole premise is that Dracula was killed early on, like 200 years ago, by Van Helsing. They've all been like immortally like brought back. And Dracula's familiar, who's been living forever, finally was able to get his ashes back,
Right.
and bring him back to life by initiating this black mass kind of thing.
Right.
So it's really good. I'm pretty sure it's called Dracula 8072,
Right.
and so that one I highly recommend.
So
You got
now
one?
when you're talking older movies, I mean, what are you saying? Are you counting 80s in there as older? That would be 40 years old. If you're looking for 70s, 60s, 50s, one that I saw just a couple of years ago has Boris Karloff in it, but it's called Black Sabbath, which I wonder if that's where the band got their name, Black Sabbath.
Supposedly
right?
it was playing.
Yeah.
They saw it playing on the marquee across
Yeah.
the street because
Yeah.
they were originally named something else. And
Uh-huh.
they're like, let's call ourselves Black Sabbath.
So I would recommend, because it's pretty cool actually to go back
Mhm.
and watch some of these old ones. Now, the funny thing is, so this is Black Sabbath. So I would recommend that. The funny thing is when you go back and if you've ever seen the very first Dracula movie with Bela Lugosi.
Yeah.
Now this is a classic, but it's fun to watch this classic with today's eyes, because you're going to watch it and you're going to say, this is not very scary. It's not scary at
Well,
all.
it's very creepy
in
though.
today's society,
Yeah.
but you can imagine when this came out, like in 1938 or something like that.
I think it's 31, but
It's in the
somewhere
30s. It's in the 30s. When you watch it, you see how it was very different, back then, of what would scare people and what they couldn't show. So, for example, when Bela Lugosi as Dracula is coming in on the sleeping girl and is going to bite her neck, and you see him opening up his mouth, they cut away to like a wall and they show you like a shadow, and then you hear a scream. They don't actually show you.
Yes.
They never show Dracula biting anybody in
Right.
this. So,
Right.
and I don't know if that at the time that would be considered
I'm
too
sure it
violent
was
or
too,
whatever.
yeah.
But yeah, it's very interesting to go and watch that.
People would need the vapors. 'Cause
Yeah.
they fainted or something like that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Because that was serious. My favorite part of that though is call me.
Yeah.
Call me. Dracula's trying to pull Van.
And what was it that we saw recently?
Yeah.
Oh, it was Renfield, which is a recent one.
Yeah.
Just came out like within last year with Nicolas Cage playing Dracula. But what was so cool is they start the movie off Renfield with the actual set pieces from the 1930s Dracula. Remember, we were watching it, and he's in the mansion and he's walking down the stairs, and they actually took the sets or whatever, or the video of that, and it digitally inserted Nicolas Cage
coming out
into
of the
that.
castle and
So
everything.
yeah. So yeah, if you wanna see some old stuff, I mean, those are a couple recommendations. But
I mean, and those are the more obtuse, a little bit more obtuse. But then there's The Howling, The American Werewolf in London.
these are 80s.
We
now.
don't know your age, so we're
Yeah.
kind of throwing things back here to 80s.
So like if you've probably seen American Werewolf in London if you're a big horror fan. But if you haven't seen The Howling, the very first Howling from the 80s, I think it takes the cake for a werewolf movie. I think it's better than American Werewolf in London. And so I would recommend you check out The Howling. What was the other one? I'd be interested, T. Weber 1000, if you've seen a movie called Life Force. Life Force from the 80s. Yeah. So this one's an interesting one where a ship is discovered out in space.
It's like space vampires.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Well, what happens is the astronauts that find this ship decide, oh, let's bring this back to Earth. And so they I think they bring it in tow back to Earth. What they don't realize is there's space vampires.
There's a coffin, a lot of coffins.
Yeah. So when it gets to Earth, and the ship just shows up with this other alien ship in tow, none of the astronauts are alive, right?
Oh, yeah, they've been sucked dry.
They've all been sucked dry. But then they find these alien kind of coffins. It's more like cryogenic chambers.
It was actually, I think they could easily redo that movie.
Yeah.
And then it's also one of the first Patrick Stewart movies.
Oh, yeah.
Remember, he's like the main detective kind of Van Helsing in that movie.
So Patrick Stewart of Star Trek is in this movie, and he's very young. And this if you like nudity, by the way, this movie from the 80s has a lot of nudity because this vampire basically walks around London naked the whole time. So, but I would recommend
powerful, you can do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
So, are you looking for T. Weber? What is it, 1000? Are you looking for something in specific? Do you got like a specific genre, like vampires?
I know
we've
just talked straight
Frankenstein
about vampires.
I know, Well, we did werewolves too.
And Black Sabbath is.
And Black Sabbath. Yeah. I mean, I just saw a Boris Karloff. If you really like kind of your vintage Victorian horror, this is black and white, and it's about grave robbers. It's a good worth a watch.
I think we got a new
what? Oh yeah. Who's these Spoiler King guys?
Yeah, who are these Spoiler King fellas? So no, who
are these lads?
So if you guys are on and you see Spoiler Kings, go subscribe to them as well. They're also Chicago-based movie reviewers like we are, and we've gotten a chance to meet them a few times.
Reviewers.
We've gotten a chance to be on some of their live streams. They live stream 2 times a week. We live stream once a year. So just to let you know,
maybe once every 2 years if we're lucky.
Yeah,
last year did not go well, but we were too what's the word I'm looking for? Ambitious.
Yeah, but we live stream once a year, every year on our anniversary, which is Halloween. These guys, they live stream 2 times a week. They definitely put out a lot more videos than we do. And so you can get entertained, and they got different viewpoints than we do. So, but we've gotten a chance to meet them in person like a few times now.
What movie did we see with
we
them?
went and saw Ant-Man.
That what it was?
That we rented out. They rented out a theater and invited us to go see it with them. If you remember that.
Yeah. So something else too.
No, I think it was Ant-Man. Yeah. And Quantum Mania or something like that. So good guys. So subscribe to them. And thanks for popping up, Spoiler Kings. In fact, they're probably going to go live in about 40 minutes. Yeah. They go live every Monday and Thursday night. So
nice.
So if you're on, thanks for being on. Make sure to hit the like button for us. That helps out a little bit. When this live stream is over, it will go into like our history, and you can watch the playback of this at any time.
Might be a little editing. We'll have to throw some pictures in if we make reference to stuff. T. Weber, you said you haven't seen it. I'm not sure which one you were referencing there, but if you guys are going to watch The Omen, that is a really choice movie. Other things, I assume you've seen The Exorcist.
And you know what?
Probably the scariest movie of all time.
If you want something also that's not vampire, because we talked a lot of vampire, but from the time of when The Omen came out, watch the very first original Amityville Horror.
Yeah, there's another one.
That is classic. And you know what? That still is really scary. I mean, it's based on a true story. It's got Josh Brolin's dad, James Brolin.
Yeah.
and it's
That was a very freaky movie. I
it's a
remember as
very scary
kid
movie.
Being scared by that one. The other one, by the way, is Rosemary's Baby.
yeah.
If you really want to get freaked out from a,
That is freaky, but it's not a scary freaky. It's just
it's more
weird
psychological
freaky. Yeah.
freaky. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, we're not going to talk too much about it, but that one is definitely very intense,
mhm.
especially if you have kids.
Yeah.
Amityville Horror is really good. Omen, like there's like 3 Omens.
Yeah.
They're really good. Russell Crowe lately has been all of a sudden doing all these Exorcist movies.
Yeah.
Well, he did The Exorcist, didn't he? Or I forgot what it was. And then he did Exorcism recently. So he's been busy. For some reason, he likes playing. He did a great. We actually saw this movie in the theater where I think it was called The Exorcist. Was it The Exorcist? Remember, he was the priest that was brought in.
It was the I don't know. It was the one where the
good.
Pope brought him in.
Yeah, the Pope had a special exorcist commission.
Yeah.
It
I
was
think we got
entertaining.
another.
What do we got here? Oh, didn't see the Dracula 7-2. Been meaning to. The Force. Have you seen Oliver Reed in the werewolf movie?
Oliver Reed in a werewolf movie.
No.
I don't think I have.
And it's funny that you just talked about him because we did Gladiator 2 and we commented
Trailer
on
reaction.
and we commented that we were, you know, what the first movie had so much gravitas that was because of Oliver Reed, and then of course he unfortunately died.
So we talk about some other movies that we've seen
Right.
with Oliver Reed. But the werewolf movie, we'll have to check that one out.
yeah,
He would make a good werewolf.
he's already kind of
He's
hairy.
already, yeah. So
he always had like the mutton chops.
Yeah,
going, like, you know,
exactly.
he just needed to like not shave for a week, and then
Yeah.
they're like, all right, you're ready,
yep,
Wolfman.
yeah. So
But yeah, that's a good one. Thanks. I'm gonna look that up. I didn't know he had done a
Spoiler
werewolf.
Kings, we do need to meet up again. Who do we got on from Spoiler? Is this Tank? Is this Brian or the Grizz? Or is this B-Man? Who do we got? Just curious. It's probably a Tank. I think he kind of
Yeah,
has control of the Spoiler Kings main account.
he's in
there.
control.
He's in control.
Tank, otherwise known as Thanos.
Yeah.
But other scary movies and zombie stuff. I mean, 28 Days Later. You got 28 Weeks Later.
Speaking of that, one of the things I wanted to kind of bring up and talk about, and we still have 30 more minutes to go, but I wanted to talk about things we are looking forward to seeing in 2025, movies that are coming up.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, this there's still some good movies left to see. There's Gladiator 2,
Yeah.
you know, that's coming up. It's Tank. Yep, trying to put the kids to bed. All right. So you know, we've got Gladiator 2, which is still coming up. We've got what's coming at Christmas? I know The Rock has this Santa Claus movie coming out, a comedy. Have you seen that? Some people have The Rock fatigue, right? Too many movies from The Rock. They're kind of done with
He's
them.
just kind of playing the same guy over and over.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's a whole bunch of looking Squid Games too. If you're
Mhm.
really into that, if you watch the first one, the second series,
Yeah.
picked up on that. But the werewolves,
Yeah.
the Frank Grillo movie.
Oh, then Nosferatu is also
and
coming out
Nosferatu,
Christmas
yeah.
Day.
I mean, if
Nothing-
you're gonna,
Nothing says Christmas cheer like a vampire movie,
that's
right?
right. You want to be scared and then happy at the same time,
Yeah.
merry at the same time.
Yeah.
But werewolves, check out the trailer for that. We haven't dropped our reaction to it, but it looks really cool because it looks like they're taking a different angle on the whole werewolf
Yeah, they are.
lore.
That's the Frank Grillo one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then of course Den of Thieves 2.
So that's 2025.
Yeah.
So
If we're sticking in I'm just looking in the future.
so in the future, yeah. So 2025, we got Mission Impossible 8 coming out. The final Mission Impossible to cap it off with Tom Cruise. I'm
Yes.
looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Now, this is going to be, I don't know if you're looking forward to this one like I am,
Yeah.
but they are rebooting The Naked Gun. And they are casting
Frank Drebin.
Liam Neeson as Frank Drebin's son. So he's gonna be now taking over The Naked Gun,
the deadpan humor.
the deadpan humor. And you know what? I love all those Leslie Nielsen movies, whether it's Police Squad, Naked Gun, Airplane,
Uh-huh.
Dracula, Dead and Loving It. I can't get enough of Leslie Nielsen. So I am anxious to see how Liam Neeson does in that kind of role. But what else are you looking for in 2025? Is
Well,
there?
I don't know specifically. I didn't write down dates.
Oh,
but
I
just
did.
in general, I've got
Oh, I didn't write down dates.
Stockholm Bloodbath.
I don't know that
You
one.
don't know that one.
What's that one?
That one's about and it's based on a true story well, I don't know what year it was, but there was some kind of like king that came in and like killed off this Finnish tribe.
Oh.
So these women decide they're going to take revenge out, and it becomes like they go and take on like this entire kingdom. You know,
Is it like Viking kind of era?
No, it's not Viking per se.
Okay.
It's a little bit after that. So
Okay.
it looks very bloody, like Sisu. That was a great movie. If you
All
got
right.
a chance to see that.
So you know what I'm looking forward to? Predator Badlands.
Oh yeah, I saw
A new Predator movie
Predators
coming.
coming
Yeah,
out.
yeah, called Badlands.
You
So-
see Megan 2.0 is coming
I
out?
saw that. I actually have that on my list. How about this one? 28 years later.
Yeah.
So if you were the
Looking forward to
fan of
that.
the zombie movie, 28 Days Later,
Danny Boyle's
and
back.
then they came out with a sequel called 28 Weeks Later. Now this is 28 years later coming out. So I'm really excited.
Right.
I love zombie flicks, and especially if they're well made. And so 28 years later, I'm
You
looking
got
for
Superman coming up.
Superman. Yeah.
Reboot.
The
We're gonna
reboot.
back here, but unfortunately not with him.
You know
Not
what's so
with
funny?
Henry.
This Superman poster has a story. It is actually signed personally by David Goyer, who is the writer and
Of that one.
of that one. Yeah, and then he's gone on to direct a lot. But he actually contacted my dad,
Yeah.
and my dad helped
Mhm.
write a scene, not for that one, but for Superman versus Batman. Remember when?
Oh yeah, right. Yeah,
or-
in the later one.
Yeah, like I think maybe it was actually in the first Justice League. When was it that Superman died? Was it in Superman versus Batman, or was it in
It was Superman versus Batman.
when he died?
Yeah, because then they
So
have
then
the
they-
fight when he comes back.
So
and
then
he doesn't know who anyone is.
yeah, I thought that was Justice League though. I can't remember.
No,
All right, so
yeah. Right.
there's a huge outcry and then a prayer, and then the director David Goyer knew that my dad was a professor of Old Testament, and he has like a blog out there. But anyways, he approached my dad and asked if he could help write that prayer. So my dad
Yeah,
submitted it, and then he sent him this poster as a thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, Dad, ask him for credit. You know what I mean?
I know.
And
I put
no,
my name. He didn't want to do that.
they didn't want they didn't want to give him credit. So that was not the case. So another movie I'm looking forward to in 2025, The Accountant 2. So
I
this
didn't even know that was coming out.
so this is The Accountant was with Ben Affleck, where he's like a hitman assassin, right?
Mm-hmm.
But also by day he's an accountant, right? And so they're coming out with The Accountant 2. So I'm looking forward to that
was
one.
another one. Okay,
Yeah.
that one I didn't know was coming out. The we talked about sort of the Bride. Did you see that? It's
No.
a Frankenstein. It's Maggie Gyllenhaal playing Frankenstein's bride.
That's interesting because I don't know if you know Guillermo del Toro,
Yeah.
the Spanish director.
Mhm.
He's coming out with his version of Frankenstein.
Wow! All of a sudden, all these Frankensteins are coming out again.
I know. It's kind of weird how like Nosferatu's coming out, and then you got werewolf movies coming out, and now you got 2 Frankenstein movies coming out in
Again,
2025.
what, don't people come up with original ideas?
Oh,
I think what it always is they hear one person's doing it, and they're like, I could do it better. And then they
I
jump
know.
in, and then it's just two
yeah.
of them.
we've just talked about zombie, Dracula, Frankenstein, and werewolves. So,
Oh, thank you.
yeah.
I know who T. Weber is now, by the way.
Who?
Liz.
Oh, okay.
Tron Ares is coming out.
I know. I've got that on my list
I
too.
know,
Another Tron.
although this live action
Yeah.
with Jared Leto.
Yeah. And they're
That
bringing
looks
back
cool.
the guy. Who was the guy that was in King
I mean,
Kong?
Jeff Bridges?
Jeff Bridges, yeah.
Oh.
They're bringing back Jeff
King
Bridges.
Kong's coming back?
No.
The
He was-
Running Man with Glenn Powell. Did you see that's coming out?
I
on the
did not know
horizon?
that one was
Yeah.
coming out.
They're going to go, if you remember there's Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man, they're going to come out with a a new version of it, but it's going to be much closer to the actual original Stephen King. I think it was a short story.
Oh,
So that's
wow.
cool.
So you know what else is coming out is Greenland Migration.
I don't
So
know
do you
that
remember
one.
Russell
Greenland.
Crowe was in a movie called Greenland where
Yeah.
an asteroid was going to hit the Earth
Mm-hmm.
and it was going to be extinction level.
Okay.
And so Russell Crowe and his wife and kids are trying to get to Greenland where there's like an underground base that was built for, you know, doctors of the world and all this stuff.
Oh.
You never saw this movie?
No.
This is a really good movie.
Oh, because it kind of sounds like Z, World War Z, where they
No, there's no
zombies. It's just a
it's an
virus
astro.
kind of-
No, an asteroid's gonna hit.
Oh, so there's like a Big Bang
Yeah,
effect. Okay.
yeah. So it's gonna like put ash into the air
What do they
for
call
3
that?
years, kill off plant life, kill off animals.
Greenhouse effect. That's what I'm looking for. Yeah. So it kills off everybody. Yeah,
Extinction level
yeah.
event.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
So yeah, that is coming out. The sequel to that.
You need to extinction level effect that Crown Royale, dude.
What? Oh. All right. So what others?
What do we got on here? Because I've got we talked about so what's the biggest one I'm looking forward to? Although it's not coming out to 2026. The Batman 2.
Oh,
I love this new Batman that just came out with Patterson.
it was good.
I liked it. I
Yeah.
thought they did a great job. They went to year 2 of Batman, so there was a lot more like no one trusted him, and he had to work with, you know, Lieutenant
You're right.
Gordon and everything. So I'm really looking forward to this one.
Also, we haven't mentioned Ballerina,
Yeah.
a John Wick story.
That's coming up very soon.
It's in
right?
2025.
Oh, it is 2025.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the interesting thing about that is we did not know that that Keanu Reeves was going to be in that. And they show him in the trailers. I wonder how big of a role he actually plays. Or if it's like they showed in the trailer the full 10
They walk in
seconds.
and she's
that-
like, you must show me how
Yeah.
to do this. And
Yeah.
he's like, all right, I'll show up. And
Yeah.
like, he probably filmed it 4 years ago or something. Although, you know, this year or next year, it's the 10th year anniversary of John Wick. So they're going to re-release it in the theater.
Yeah.
And then also it's the 25th anniversary of Boondock Saints.
Oh.
So there's another one that's coming out. They're going to
Okay.
release that too.
So tell us, people in the chat, is there anything you're looking forward to in 2025? Maybe, maybe not.
You know what? I was really surprised you did not put this movie I'm about to say on your list. I thought you would be all over this movie. Which
Okay.
movie is it?
I don't know.
You know, he and I always have different, a lot of times, opinions on different movies. Obviously, if you watch our show and everything, but this one I thought was surely on your list. It is
Avatar.
Dirty Dancing 2, summer of 2025.
Oh.
I'm like, why isn't it on your list, man?
Dirty Dancing too.
So Jennifer
Oh.
Grey's going to come back.
Oh, nice.
So hey,
Is Patrick Swayze coming back?
no, they're gonna do
They
some
could-
kind
they
of
could-
homage to him.
They could
in
make
the
it
movie.
like Ghost 2 mixed with Dirty Dancing 2.
right,
Right?
It'll be an homage in
Yeah.
some form or another with some CGI.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like we did a thing about the ballerina where Lance Reddick shows up. Is it
Mhm.
Riddick? Lance Riddick shows up, and it's like whoa! But then we found out later he
That-
actually
he had
filmed it before he died.
Yeah.
So, R.I.P. Lance Riddick.
See, I thought you were going to say Avatar 3.
Oh, I saw that but I was like, yeah, he's not gonna watch that.
See,
I
liked-
that one. I knew for sure you weren't going to watch.
so I'm going to watch it. I'm going to watch it
I still haven't seen Avatar 2 because of you.
because that was bad. It was stupid.
That was
It-
gag.
Yeah. I mean, I liked Avatar, the first one, but I was not like as gaga as everybody was going, oh, this is our generation Star Wars. You know, I was like,
Oh.
no, it's not. It was not that good.
I mean, even the
you know?
first one was good, but
Right.
because it was so cutting edge. But there was a lot of like slow. Probably the funniest thing that came out of that Avatar first movie was the Saturday Night Live.
That was a pretty funny
episode.
skit. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So, but yeah, the other one too is there's going to be another Lord of the Rings, The Hunt for Gollum, and also
But-
Star Wars:
but-
The New Jedi Order.
I think that Lord of the Rings is animated.
No,
Are you sure?
No, it's going to be live action. You might be right. I didn't think it was animated though, but
I think it's animated.
I know. I think it's so early they don't know what they're doing. But Andy Serkis is going to direct it, if I remember correctly. But then Peter Jackson's going to produce it, and then there's going to be another Star Wars, The New Jedi Order. It was supposed to be already kind of like starting, but then I guess they realized that it was just so bad that they
Because
had to go back and rewrite it.
Disney has ruined Star Wars. I mean,
Oh,
the only thing that was good was The Mandalorian, like first 2 seasons.
yeah,
You know,
right.
and
Well, no, my son really liked, what was it, Andor? Andor was
so a lot of people like Andor, and it was not bad, but it was just kind of boring to me, a little bit boring.
My son says my son's a tough customer because he doesn't like a lot of stuff. He's like, oh, I said, really better than Mandalorian, but I mean, to your point, it wasn't like, cruising around with gunfights and all.
Cruising
that. It was
around.
much more drama and rebellion,
Yeah.
intrigue.
Yeah. Did you like the Book of Boba Fett? See, it could have been so much better.
Oh my god!
But
they
number
ruined that.
one, half of that series was dedicated to the Mandalorian. And it's like, and then you made Boba Fett, who's supposed to be the most feared bounty hunter in the galaxy. You made him weak
and jokey
and jokey, and that's not Boba
He's like
Fett.
having
So
like facials in his oxygen tank or whatever,
Yeah.
the healing tank or whatever. But
that
it like,
was disappointing.
There was just so much that, I mean, especially because he's your favorite character. Right?
He's my all-time favorite.
And there he
character.
is, right up there.
Yes.
Courtesy of Mr.
John Tyler
There
Christopher,
we go.
artist, does a lot of cool covers. So
Yeah. So
oh man,
the dog is also going to be letting us know it's
yeah.
Halloween night. So we are obviously, what do we got? Light attendance. What are we at?
3 right now.
3.
Yeah.
So hopefully more people show up.
Yeah.
But thank you, Liz.
And Spoiler Kings.
And Tank.
And there's been other people too, so we don't know who they are.
I know the
That'll
other
come
day
in.
we randomly had Jose. Maybe he'll jump back in here. But
Yeah.
it is Halloween. Maybe if we stick on keep going here and talk about different
Well,
things.
we got 18 more minutes, and then we'll probably.
I think we
call
might
it
have
quits.
more people though coming in late.
I don't know. All right.
5:07.
So yeah, a lot of fun activities, that we've done. Some of my favorite episodes, if you were to go out and look at them, is we do a lot of these. We don't do them too much anymore because they take so much time to edit, but we used to do a lot of like funny cold opens or interesting cold opens. If you go watch our John Wick 4 review, watch just the first minute of that. Watch that opening. Or if you watch
Werewolves by Night,
Werewolves by Night
too.
If you watch that whole episode, there was a lot of work put into that one. We just remastered it, changed a few things, and
Cleaned up
put
a
it
little
out.
bit.
I think it's got like 400 views.
Yeah.
Now, so
I mean, I really enjoyed that episode just because I thought it was, we were trying to pay an homage to how Disney put it out in the first place. In
Right.
black and white.
it's in
and
black
like
and
the
white.
Crankly,
Yeah.
the film, and then like.
I like our opening to what was the one where it was Mark Wahlberg and the kid who plays Spider-Man.
Greenfield?
No, it
Oh,
was
Holland?
it was in the Pacific, right? They were treasure
Oh,
hunters.
Uncharted?
Uncharted.
Oh.
Go watch
yeah.
our opening for
Isn't that
Uncharted.
Tom Holland?
Go watch our opening for the Indiana Jones.
That
latest
one might
one.
be a short, by the way.
Yeah.
That one could be a short.
Watch that
I
one.
mean, we turned one of the Star Wars cold openings into a short.
Yeah.
That was the one that took off. But there's a couple of more we're going to come out with.
Yeah. What else did we do that was pretty funny? Watch our Dungeons and Dragons review.
Yeah.
Like about 15 minutes in, we put some really cool special effects and kind of a funny storyline in that. Or if you want to talk about funny, our Scream 96 review that we
reviewed
did.
It.
Yeah.
I remember what did we do that was funny in that?
Our ending to that. And the whole time we're talking about killing Tank from the Spoiler Kings
Oh, that was at the beginning though, wasn't it?
all the way through to
did
the
we
end.
go all the way to the end? I mean,
Yeah.
that's a review.
I guess you don't remember
Everything
that one.
mixes after a while when you're
Well,
staring
when you
at
got-
it nonstop.
We've got 600 videos that we put out
Yeah.
over 3 years.
Mm.
And it's always like, I always say, Dane, remember that funny thing we did where we did a eulogy for The Rock? And, And he was like, "Yeah, I remember. What episode was that?" We were like, "I can't remember."
Ironically, it was Jungle Cruise.
Jungle
I remember
Cruise.
it immediately
Okay.
because he's on the poster.
Yeah, that's right. But like,
do it. Do your homage. Do your thing. That
oh no,
the wrestling.
no,
thing you like
that
to
was
do.
pretty funny. But like, you know, we all remember like things we did, but I cannot remember what episode that was in of our 600
we
episodes.
diverge a lot of times. And definitely take the long way to get to some of our, or to coin a phrase, we weave a lot.
Mm.
We weave a lot.
Or chase a lot of rabbits. I always say we chase rabbits.
But one of my favorite top 10 worst songs of the 80s. We
Huh?
had a lot of people feedback on that.
We
Some
did.
people are like, we want you to do another one and we'll give you suggestions.
Yeah.
So that one was a fun one. Watch that. We have a couple of shorts that came out about that because definitely there's
Yeah.
a lot of stuff in the 80s that was like overplayed to death.
Yeah. But like, for example, he does not like Joe Jackson stepping out.
Win, 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 win.
It doesn't do that.
Win, win, win.
I like that song. I don't know why, but I just remember like hearing that when I was like 11, and like it starts off with the synthesizers going boom, 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 boom. And I just thought that was so cool because synthesizers were kind of new in the 80s, right? And so I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. What was another song that you didn't like from the 80s that
Well, I remember the song you didn't like. It was like the Poison song.
Every Rose Has Its Thorn?
Yeah.
That is such a horrible, horrible song. So boring. But like,
Come
you
on,
know,
sing it.
yeah.
Every rose has its thorn.
I'm not here to sing it. So yeah, go
He
check
hasn't
out
done
our
enough.
our worst songs of the
Yeah,
80s.
That was a fun video to do. So
Yeah.
those definitely I enjoyed doing because there was a lot of like interplay and you get a lot of taste of like the music from the 80s because
Yeah.
I mean, especially
Now-
the younger generation who hasn't heard that kind of stuff.
Now, you want to know a good episode to watch of ours that's really fun? Our top 8 favorite Saturday morning cartoons that we did. So if you were a
That was like
fan,
year one.
yeah, if you were a fan of Saturday morning cartoons in the 70s, we did a top 8, and we even put in commercials for stuff like Underoos and like Garanimals
forgot
and
about
stuff
that.
like,
I
you
think
know,
it was Fruit Loops.
yeah, Fruit Loops commercials you would see in between. Stretch Armstrong, remember
Oh,
Stretch
yeah.
Armstrong? So, go watch our top 8 Saturday morning
It's like
cartoons.
Kung Fu-y.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, Super Friends. I remember Tarzan, and he would like
Oh yeah.
Bo Mongani.
Oh!
Yeah, in that we actually have a Tarzan call contest. So check that out. So that's
That one I don't remember. Some of this I don't.
oh, what's a down boy?
Yeah. Then what's a down boy?
Yeah,
Wait,
that was your song,
who said that? Oh.
T. Weber. Do you not have that? Oh,
Yeah. That. What do you want me to play the song?
oh no.
No,
I
that
thought-
was a little side project on that video. We didn't. That wasn't officially in there. I
That
just
was.
asked. No, I mean, but it wasn't part of the list.
Yeah.
It was.
But
more
no,
me
it was part of
asking-
your list.
No,
Yeah, because you even asked me. It was part of the short. You asked me, "What's a down boy?"
I did ask you that, but it's not actually in the list. It was a side thing that we asked near the end. So
Oh, okay.
That's
It
what I'm
wasn't
getting at.
part of your list.
yeah, it was just something I brought up at the end. Like, by
Okay.
the way, what the hell's a down boy? It wasn't on my 3. I
Is
don't
it a
remember.
boy that goes down or something?
It's like a
Something
dog,
that?
down
Yeah.
boy,
I don't
down, or is it down in the basement?
Wear-
Is it,
wearing a down jacket.
Yeah, yours was a down jacket.
Yeah.
So, but we had some really good, exciting movies that came out. Even we both love Tokyo Vice. If you have not seen,
That's a
Tokyo
series,
Vice, that's
TV
on
series.
HBO Max, absolutely outstanding.
Okay.
I mean, right? You loved it. My
Yeah.
brother loved it. I mean, even his kids loved it.
I got a lot of people to watch it
yeah.
because somebody got me to watch it, and then I watched it and said, "Dang!" It took me weeks to get him to finally watch it, and then once he did, he was hooked.
I was busy watching other Downton Abbey for the third time.
I can't watch that.
He's never seen Downton Abbey.
I've never seen. I don't want to.
Never seen Bridgerton either.
Never
have you?
want. Do not want to see that.
I did give up on Bridgerton.
Yeah.
Downton I kept with.
He watches like Emily in Paris. Too.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
a great
I'm not gonna watch
series.
that.
We also loved. We did not love Rebel Moon because the cut was so bad. But I'm really curious to know, although we don't have a huge audience on here right now, right? I don't know what the number is, but I would have loved to have known, has anyone seen the director cut? Because Rebel Moon and the second one were all like what, an hour and a half, like typical.
No.
But then it turns out the director cut's like 3 hours long.
So each one was like 2 hours and 30 minutes.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then he put in an hour into each, and it's like 3.5 hours now for each version.
Yeah. So I started watching it, but I was like, wow, they cut out like so much.
Yeah.
So I haven't finished to determine my opinion on
Hey.
this whole thing.
Do you want to see a good series where really only season 1 is good? Season 1 is worth the watch. Season 2 and 3 kind of go downhill. But season 1, Dane,
Who's
you will
that?
admit that the TV show From
Yeah.
on
First season.
what was that on?
Epic.
MGM?
MGM. Originally Epix. Now
Epix.
MGM Plus.
If you watch this series From, that first season is really good. It's a mix of Lost with Salem's Lot. I mean, just it's really, really
Oh
cool,
yeah.
right?
I mean, it's they basically said they stole scenes
from Salem's
Salem's Lot.
and Lost. You know what I mean?
So a good one, Weber,
yeah.
i.e. Liz.
Season 1 is good.
Yeah.
And then that's all you need to watch. Is just you'll be enthralled. So that's all you need to watch.
But since you are looking for, I mean, now that we know who that is, what else would you recommend to her from a horror standpoint? I mean, are you looking like non-scary horror, or could we go into The Conjuring and Insidious and what else is out there that
you want to know one of my?
I don't know how scared you want to be or how bloody you want to be.
You want to know one of my all-time favorite horror movies, and it's not like it's bloody or anything like that, but it's a John Carpenter film called In the Mouth of Madness, and it has Sam Neill from Jurassic
I haven't seen
Park.
that one, actually.
Oh,
I've heard about it.
It
I've
is
never seen
freaky, very, very freaky. And I remember watching this alone in college by myself in the dark,
Oh, really?
and I'm laying on the couch, and I keep
You went
hearing.
in your beanbag
Keep
chair?
hearing things behind me, so I keep looking around like, is anybody else in this house with me? But yeah, that was really good. And then the first Silent Hill, very,
seen that
very
either.
freaky. So yeah.
Yeah, so Liz, I don't know if you're looking to go old school, like really old, like 60s, 70s, or are you just looking for some really freaky new movies?
Yeah. So In the Mouth of Madness came out like in the early 90s. And it's from John Carpenter, stars Sam Neill from Jurassic Park.
Mhm.
Watch that one. And then Silent Hill, I think later 90s, early 2000s.
And I'm assuming you guys have seen the classic The Thing from John Carpenter, because that is actually in my top 5 movies of all time.
Yeah.
So if you haven't, highly recommend that one, because they also then, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, they came out with The Thing 2, and it was actually exactly ending where the other one ended and continued on with Mary Louise Winstead. Is her name?
Yeah.
Great. And that was a great movie too, but it was nice because it actually filled in some of the backstory of the original, or at least it answered some questions. So
He threw out a movie, Hereditary.
oh, well, that Hereditary.
Yeah. I've got it on Blu-ray, but I have not seen it.
Oh,
So I don't know. If we had A and B horror here, man, they would know everything about that. So
right. Well, we watch a lot of horror movies when this season comes around, and we're always looking for new stuff.
I'm looking it up just
some
to
of the
see
stuff. This
if
guy's
I've
got
seen
some
it.
of these classic Italian horror movies. So if you really kind of are interested in a more cultural aspect of vampires, and the Italian version obviously has some nudity. and are more on the romantic side of the vampire. What was the name of that one? Count Dracula's Great Love.
That's Spanish, Dane. We were corrected that wasn't Italian. That was Spanish from Spain.
No, that was the El Conde, is what that guy was talking about. The one that El Conte. That's a movie we haven't seen.
Oh, okay.
That one was Spanish, but the one that you're talking about, that was Italian, because it was Paul Nachi, and they were speaking Italian the whole time.
Yeah,
we had occasionally do get questions from
questions or trolls
that are very.
We don't mind people pointing us out if we're wrong, because that does happen.
Yeah,
we can't know everything about everything. So, like, if somebody was like, "Oh no, that was not Italian, that was Spanish," I mean, sorry.
They're recommending Hereditary, very scary.
Yeah,
we just saw Abigail recently too, but we have a review. We haven't released it. And what was the one that we saw where you actually talked to the actress?
Hey, Liz. You want to watch a freaky one? Watch the watch this. You can get it on streaming now. Late Night with the Devil.
Oh yeah.
Right? We have a review coming out on this, and what it is, the premise. Brewing into Cinema really enjoyed Abigail. Yeah.
Nice.
We've got a review coming out on Abigail. That's a vampire movie.
I was trying to get it out, but sorry.
Yeah.
It's in the can.
Yeah. And then Late Night with the Devil. The premise is it's a guy who has a talk show in the 70s, goes up against Johnny Carson.
Sweeps week.
And
it's
what
Halloween
happened?
night.
He's had it for a couple of years, but the ratings are down. So now it's sweeps week, and he decides to have an live exorcism, if you will, on TV on Halloween night, and it's on camera. And it is a freaky movie, let me tell you. So it's called Late Night with the Devil.
Yeah,
and
you can get it on streaming. I think we watched it on you have.
I have it on Blu-ray, but it is streaming somewhere.
I think it's on Netflix.
No, it's not Netflix. It's like Apple TV or Paramount Plus or something like that.
I didn't have to pay for it, but it was a really well done movie.
Yeah, they actually saw Late Night with the Devil.
Nice.
So, and Brewing into Cinema is looking forward to seeing that one. So,
nice. Well, Abigail and Late Night. Abigail, well, you'll see our review, but we were the premise of Abigail was really good.
Yeah,
but I don't want to give any spoilers away for people who haven't seen it.
Right.
So Brewing into Cinema. Thank you for joining us, by the way. We were just talking about a bunch of different horror movies. Some of our other questions that came out was some classics from the 60s and 70s. We've talked a little bit about, the Omen, the Amityville Horror, the Exorcist, and we've been jumping
Rosemary's
around here.
Baby.
You got a movie that you highly recommend from a horror standpoint, or questions for us in some form?
Yeah, I was telling Nate too. I don't know if you've seen, if you like vampire movies, you like Dracula movies. Gerard Butler in 2000, he was very young. He played Dracula in a movie called Dracula 2000. I don't know if you've seen that. Dracula 2000. I recommend it because what's cool about Dracula 2000, I mean, it's got its jump scares and it's a little scary. But when you look at Dracula's origin story in most movies, they equate it to Vlad the Impaler, right? Vlad Tepes is the origin of Dracula.
Knows his last name even.
Dracula 2000 goes on a totally different origin story for Dracula.
Ooh.
And it is very thought-provoking and very interesting. I do not want to give it away if you've not seen Dracula 2000. I think you can go pick that up anywhere streaming. But I recommend watching Dracula 2000 just so you can see what the origin story is. And it comes, I hate to say it, towards the end of the movie.
Alternate origin story.
Where Dracula was created. Okay.
And on that note, we had talked about, we were talking about Nosferatu is about to come out. And we had, we had a conversation about how in our generation, I guess I should say, when we grew up, vampires were all super sexy, handsome guys or women. You know what I mean? It was like the original, going back to 1921, the original Nosferatu. I mean, that's where the whole bald head, long ears, teeth out. That's where that came from. And then all of a sudden, everybody from Bela Lugosi on was like, hello, ladies, You
had Bela Lugosi. You had Christopher Lee. You had Frank Langella. You had Jack Palance. You had, all of these people. You had Blackula, but they were all
Eddie Murphy, for God's sake,
ladies, into the ladies and sexy and everything.
Right.
So yeah, and then you have Salem's Lot, which brings back the Nosferatu, and then a movie we reviewed earlier this year, The Last Voyage of the Demeter, brings back that style of Dracula too,
and even making him look almost like alien freakish,
yes.
like a bat has landed from a comet or something.
If you've not seen The Last Voyage of the Demeter, it's really good. And if you have read Bram Stoker's Dracula, which I have, you had basically kind of three parts to the book. You had Jonathan Harker at Dracula's castle, meeting Dracula, trying to do some real estate affairs with him, and then he becomes trapped there.
Sign some documents.
Then Dracula sees his little locket that has his wife Mina in it, and it looks like his old, wife. So he decides to travel to London to get to Mina.
Mm-hmm.
So the next part of the book, the second act, is the travel to London, and that's on the ship the Demeter. And in the book, it's really interesting. But so watch the movie The Last Voyage of the Demeter,
because it's written like the captain's journal.
it's like the captain's
So
journal.
the style of writing changes. Yeah. And
And then the last part is Dracula being in London, and chasing Mina Harker, finds Lucy, all that. So
and so the cool thing about this movie is that part of the book with the voyage had
Yeah.
never been put on film.
well, no, that's not true.
Well,
It's never been.
Well, I mean, the whole movie was that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the whole
Explore.
movie was all just that trip.
Yeah.
And because if you
Almost.
watch Bram Stoker's Dracula,
They get in and they go. Yeah.
you do see a little part of that
Right.
that trip to
Right.
London.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, this one explored like all the ins and outs of the trip and the deliciousness of somebody waking up in the cargo hold and deciding
We both
I need a snack.
we both gave it good reviews. I mean, so
Yeah,
it was
that
really
was
it was
good.
different and interesting. So
Yeah, and we
Um,
were. I mean, we've been jumping around with a different thing. I mean, we were talking about this earlier. There's another Frankenstein movie coming out with
Mhm.
Maggie Gyllenhaal, Bride of Frankenstein. Could be really good. I mean, that's one thing they have not brought back was the Bride of Frankenstein, right?
Not the
That's
Bride.
one thing they've never redone. They've done Frankenstein how many times?
yeah, I can't think of anything.
And we haven't even
Although-
talked about Underworld.
Although, like, I think she was in that movie Monster Squad from the 80s with the kids, where they had Frankenstein, Dracula, the werewolf. And they had the bride
Forgot
too.
about that.
So
And actually, if you guys are looking for old, weird, cult B pulp movies, there's one called Operation Terror. And it's about these aliens that have come down to Earth. It was filmed in probably like 1967, 68. It's got the guy who played the lead in the original The Day the Earth Stood Still. I forget what his name. And the premise is aliens have come down, taken over scientists.
oh yeah,
And they decide
I've
they're
seen
going to have to actually, their planet is dying. So what they're going to do is go and track down all the classic horror monsters. on
Resurrect
Earth,
them.
Resurrect them, bring them back, clone them, and then release them on everybody.
right.
So they go out and they find like where the werewolf was. They dig up Frankenstein. They get
Dracula.
the mummy. They get Dracula. And so
Yeah.
it's all this like classic like horror, but done in a very weird way because the aliens are like, oh, we know where Frankenstein is. We've tracked him down. He's buried under this. And then they go and bring
And
him
you
out.
watched that on the streaming channel Tubi, right?
Yeah, it was on Tubi.
So if you want to
TUBI.
TUBI, it's a free streaming channel. The only issue is they put commercials in.
But don't abuse you.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But you can watch all of these classic horror movies for free and stream it on Tubi.
And I will say, Amazon, when they all of a sudden decided to charge you extra, it's actually, ironically, no charge and the same kind of commercial, the way they organize it, the way Amazon does. So
Yeah.
it's actually better.
Yeah. So, and Tubi, I've watched several movies on there now, and they have a pretty big library of classic horror movies and westerns. I like westerns too.
Yeah. Well, that's
So
true.
they've got some
I know,
westerns
the
that I wanted
library-
to see.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like their shtick is they're going out and finding all these movies that people have
The other
never-
streaming channels don't want.
Yeah, they don't want.
And so they go and they get these, and then they put ads to them. So, so yeah, go watch that Operation Terror, where the
Yeah.
aliens want
I'm
to
not saying it's
clone
a
all the.
great movie.
No, but
it's
it is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if you wanted your Pulp Fiction type
Mhm.
stuff, pulpish type thing. Speaking about Pulp Fiction, when's Tarantino coming back?
He's
I
got
mean, he's got his science fiction classic he hasn't done, right? He's doing 10 of all.
he said he's going to do one more movie, which is 10, and then he's going to retire forever. So he's got one loaded in the chamber for us. So what it'll
It's
be.
got to be science fiction. Well, because he's
I
trying
don't
to
know.
explore every genre, right?
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know if that's what it's going to be.
We reference him so much
Oh, we do.
because there's just so much stuff that he's picked up on or made some point about that. It's like
Plus-
this would be apropos for this particular point.
Plus, we've seen his movies a lot. You know what I mean? How many
Yeah.
times have you seen Pulp Fiction?
5 times.
Okay,
I mean, but on average, it's a lot more than I normally.
I've
watch.
seen it at least a dozen. I've seen almost all of his movies at least 5
I don't
times.
know.
All of them. So yeah,
I need some space.
yeah, I know. You don't do that.
I don't like
so.
repeating watching things a lot
Yeah.
of times. But
Is there a? By the way, chat. Is there a scary movie out there that we should watch that we have not seen yet? We're always looking for new ones. What?
What was the name of the movie that you talked to the actress about? The
Oh,
witch, like it was like.
okay. There's a movie called Two Witches,
Yeah.
and in that movie there is an actress named Rebecca Kennedy, who's becoming kind of a scream queen, meaning
Mhm.
she's been in multiple horror movies, and so they label her as
and
a
it's an
scream queen.
actual official designation by like some Scream
Yeah.
magazine
Yeah.
commission.
So what's cool, and this is one of the cool things about our, running our channel,
Mhm.
is we did a trailer reaction for Two Witches. This was a couple years ago. And, we promote all of our stuff on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. She came and liked our Instagram post and commented, like, I hope you guys like this movie. And I had to go check. I was like, is this really her account? You know what I mean? And she
He
even
thought it was me. Probably.
she even liked it on Twitter too. So and then
And it was only a trailer reaction.
it was only a
We didn't
trailer
even-
reaction. So then what we did was I said, oh, it's an honor for you to, be on our page and blah, blah, blah. And I responded to her. And then the next day, boom, she followed us, and boom, she followed us on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah.
And then ever since then, when we put out certain horror stuff, she likes our videos, right? So and I've commented on a lot of her posts, and she always thanks me for her posts.
Yeah.
But we're kind of thinking maybe we leverage that into an interview, and we interview her as
Yeah, I mean, because it was, and I like the aspect of that movie. I mean, we kind of stumbled upon it. If you guys get a chance, it was Two Witches.
Two Witches.
So there's a little bit of
Two Witches.
kind of like classic witch / Satan
Yeah.
lore.
Yeah.
Well, there's horror in there too, but it was well done, and it was kind of like a different take on things. It was much more
a
modern,
Different take on witches. Yeah.
So
it was really good. So
if you guys
hopefully
get a chance-
we get a chance and bring her on our.
Because that's another
channel.
aspect of horror. Witch. You guys ever seen The Witch? The Witch. It's just
Yes.
looks like 2 V's put together.
Yeah.
That's another really good one, especially if you like your Puritanism.
Right.
Witch.
One movie that he needs to see is and I've told you need to see this, is the Florence Pugh movie.
Oh, Midsummer.
Midsummer.
I've seen bits of it, and I think Liz told me she's seen it.
Oh, Midsummer is freaky. Midsummer is freaky. I cannot believe you've not seen it.
I had to look. I was going to reference
Because you
it.
liked Florence Pugh, and
Yeah.
you've told me that before. And this is one of her kind
That
of
was
breakthrough
like her
movies.
first movie, right? Or something.
Well,
like
one of
that?
her breakthrough movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
she's a powerful actress. She's coming out in Thunderbolts.
Yep.
Any Marvel superhero fans out there?
Yep. Once again, we
Looks
got
good.
5 people on. We just want to say thank you guys for joining us. And tonight during our live stream, we hit 5,000
I want to
subscribers.
see what we're at right. What do you think we're at, JR, right now?
I'll say 5,015.
5,097.
So right before we started this live stream, we were at
98.
We were at what? 49
4,999.
and 90. No, well, like 90,
98.
98.
93.
93. So we needed 3 subscribers to hit 5,000 before this live stream. During this live stream, we hit 5,000, and now we're up to 5,099.
It's almost 100.
It's crazy. It is crazy, I tell you.
I know,
So,
and we wish people would join and talk and
Yeah.
ask us and put anybody who's on. I know there's brewing into cinema, and this strange T. Weber 1000 person.
Right. Spoiler kings.
Where, people would post comments and, start a conversation about some of the stuff that we're talking about. Because, you know what? We want to hear the opinions, even if they're negative.
Yeah.
We respond to everything. It's important to us to interact with everybody and get an answer, get their opinion, because a lot of times you learn something new when somebody fills you in. And that's the beauty of what we love doing. A lot of times we're live on camera when we're filming stuff, and it's not like we've got, 30 years of research into a movie. We're going to miss things. So a lot of times we get corrected on stuff, and we love to hear that because it's really helps us out in the long run.
Yeah.
So
if you are respectful with your, with your information,
I'm okay. If
some people are like, you guys didn't know the difference between an Italian and a Spanish vampire movie. I'm never going to watch you guys again.
I know you two, these two
fools.
fools.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. Dude. So
Par of the course.
Yeah.
You can't fight it. By the way, what are we drinking this evening? I'm doing Johnny Walker Green. I don't know what you guys are serving out there in your bar.
All right, Crown Royal. Drinking a little Crown Royal with the camo bag.
The camo bag.
Look at that. Of the American.
I don't know. What is it a camo of? Is it it's bottles.
Bottles of Crown Royal.
Special camo bag.
Yeah.
Limited edition.
Well, Dane, spent a great hour.
I know. I want to keep going. I think we'll get more.
Let's
just keep going, man.
All right, we'll keep going for a little bit. We'll go to 9. We'll go to 9:30.
Let's go to 9:30, and maybe we'll go to 10.
No, we'll go to 9:30.
Well, it's Halloween. I have a feeling people are kind of coming in after things are,
right.
So
yeah. But you know what? I want to know what you guys think. We every week when we do something and film something different, we change out the table. We change out the posters, we change out the comic books and the records, and we change out a lot of stuff. We're wondering if you guys ever even notice this stuff, or if you even are looking at all the stuff that we've got behind
us on camera, by the way, just to see how the pictures come out. Because sometimes I'm always like, is this clear? Is it
right?
Because we get no comments.
Yeah, we're always wondering. We're switching out all this stuff. I bring stuff over. He brings stuff over.
Yeah. Right, and you might have noticed this evening was a variety of different things. I mean, we got anyone up there know what that is up in the back? Who that face is right there? That lizard face? We need Star Trek fans.
Yeah. Brewing the Cinema has a question.
What's your guys' top 3 go-to Halloween season movies? And I'm drinking some Strawberry Magic by Cider Boys. Nice.
Strawberry Magic by Cider Boys.
That's a little on the tart side, if I remember correctly.
I like.
Some people love their sours, i.e., the other person on this film watching us right now.
I'm more of
an Imperial Stout fan, but
Strawberry
what's
Magic.
your top 3 Halloween season movies? Well, I always. Every season we try to watch something we haven't seen before, but if I'm going to go back to something, I love the classic 70s Dracula movies. Like we were talking about this earlier, the Hammer production films like Dracula AD 72. I think it's called maybe it's 1972. And of course the Bela Lugosi stuff from the very beginning, which started it all, just to kind of set the tone.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put it on and just let it play. But I don't know, classics from you want something that's going to hold your attention, that engages you from, growing up or culturally or whatever. And then it's going to scare the poop out of you.
Right. Every Halloween, I watch a lot more scary movies in a 30-day period than I watch the whole year. Right. So I'm always looking for new stuff, but if I'm going to revisit classic horror movies, the things that scared me, and Brewing in a Cinema, this dates me a little bit, but I was a kid of the 80s.
What?
And
I don't know.
The movies that scared me the most back then were Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about that. I can't believe we talked about it.
I remember being 12 years old and going to the theater with some friends and sneaking in and watching that. And then going home and praying, Lord, I'm going to go to sleep. Help me out here. Help me out. I don't want to die in my dreams. You know what I mean?
You're like, I can't go to sleep.
Yes.
I mean, you're in your underwear,
Yeah.
right? You're in your animals, and you're
No,
like,
I'm-
no, Lord, please.
Yeah, I'm a teen by then. But then,
Tiny whiteys.
so Nightmare on Elm Street scared the crap out of me as a kid. Another movie, which believe it or not, was a PG movie at the time, was Poltergeist. And that scared the crap out of me. You want to know why that scared the crap out of me? Is because right outside my window was a tree that looked just like the tree from Poltergeist that came crashing in the window and then tried to swallow the boy. Like, you
It
know
was
what I mean?
like scratching your window.
Oh,
once
it
in a
would scratch my
while.
window. It would scratch my window during the wind. So, those two movies are always like classic go-to movies for me to watch
Mhm.
just because of the memories of them. Are they the scariest movies today? No. But during the 80s, yeah.
I mean, yeah, that was cutting edge. 'cause
That was cutting
Wes
edge back-
Craven,
yeah.
I think,
Wes
right?
Craven and then Steven Spielberg, believe it or not, did Poltergeist.
Oh yeah, he did Poltergeist. But
Yeah.
I mean, the Freddy Krueger one, that was the one where they came out with that special effect where it looks like you're coming through the wall.
yes.
The stretching
Oh.
wall thing. And they're like, that was the first movie that they had ever done that little effect where it's like the walls coming out.
Yeah,
at
so Elm Street scared the crap out of me.
But if you want really the ones that seat of your pants scare, Exorcist. I mean, that's the one that scares the crap out of everybody.
Well, it
And
did.
I love The Thing. We talked about it earlier. but
Exorcist,
my
yeah.
Carpenter thing, that's in my top 5.
Yeah, and then my Carpenter one was In the Mouth of Madness.
Yeah.
But
other horror movies, I mean,
like there's a lot of good ones out lately, you know. You've got the franchises like Sinister and
yeah.
you know,
I didn't even
The
watch
Conjuring.
I didn't watch the Saw first one for a long time, and then this guy, like basically 2 years ago,
Well,
said you got to watch it.
well,
I think
it's
it was before we did our. Was it before?
maybe it was before we did.
Or did we?
And the funny thing about Saw is that came out like in, I don't know, 2006, somewhere around there.
But they they overplayed the gore that you thought.
Well, no. So I avoided it because I don't like over the top gore. I don't like to see eyeballs like crushed in on purpose, you know.
Where's your zombie
Yeah,
picture? We're
yeah.
gonna eat you over there.
And so when Saw came out, you know, you see the poster with the severed limbs, and I'm like, I'm not going to watch that. So for years, I would go to Blockbuster. This back when Blockbuster was Block. I would walk by Saw.
Not Family
see-
Video.
No, I would see that picture of the severed limbs over and over, and I'd pass it every time.
But
And
it
then
intrigued you.
no, let me tell the story,
Okay,
please.
go, sorry.
So I would pass by it and would say no. And then one day at work, some guys are talking about scary movies. They're talking about Saw. And then they're like, Jerry, you've seen Saw? And I was like, no, I don't do those kind of movies. And they said, actually, the very first Saw is not that bloody. It's more psychological. And I said, really? I said, okay, I'm going to rent it. And I'm just going to watch the first 15 minutes.
Uh-huh.
And if I'm good, I'm going to watch the next 15 minutes. And then if I'm good, I'm going to watch that. So I ended up watching this that night by myself, watched the whole thing. And when it ended,
That's tough.
I stood up by myself in my house and applauded.
Wow.
I said, damn, I've been missing out. That was so good. And so then I told you a few years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that movie is they kind of caught a very specific niche angle on like horror. You know what I mean? Because no one had implied that your head's going to get ripped off without actually doing anything.
Right.
Rip your head off.
Right.
Spoiler alert. But yeah, so I watched that with my wife.
Your wife liked it?
And she liked it too, because
Wow.
I think I watched it first. And I
Okay.
said, you should watch this too.
Yeah.
Usually that's the way it works.
Well, and you know what?
got predetermined of what the gore level is.
I even got my parents who do not like
Oh,
gore
really? They
to
watch it too?
And my mom said that was really good.
Oh,
And my dad
nice.
said, why do they make movies like this? You know what I mean? So,
Well, there was no action.
Yes.
there's a little action.
Yeah.
But then the problem was with that whole franchise is that where do you go from there?
Right.
every single one went worse, bad,
And
you
gory,
know, it
right?
got much and much more gory. I didn't see the last one
Yeah.
that came out, but we did the trailer for it. And
Yeah.
it was like,
But you know, we've seen
looks like
movies.
this guy's head's getting separated.
We
like
have
a
seen
bear
movies
trap.
like that recently. Like, what was the one that we watched? Where it had Steven Dorff in it, and they went out. They like robbed like a pawn shop.
I always forget the title. It was
And
like
then they went-
the thing they did, the last day that they did, the night that they did.
So this one was
Can't think of the name of
gory.
it. I never can remember
This
the title.
one was gory, and we did the review on it.
Yeah, so if you're looking for, I completely forgot about this.
Yeah.
It was The Price They Pay.
The Price They
The
Pay.
Price They Pay.
Yeah, go watch The Price They Pay if you like that gory stuff, because there's a lot of gore in this one.
But it's also freaky because
It is freaky.
You're like, what the hell is going on?
What the hell is going on?
Because
here?
the movie kind of like starts in a certain way and then it kind of moves a little bit forward, then it moves, and then you're thinking, oh, it's going this way, and then, oh nope, it's going that way.
Right.
So you're definitely The Price We Pay.
And
It's
then
not the best movie ever, but
Right.
it's definitely a horror movie that I think most people would enjoy.
another movie we reviewed that was like, what the hell is going on here, was Barbarian.
Yes.
Right?
Have you, either one of you two, seen Barbarian?
Yeah. Have you guys seen Barbarian yet? Brewing into cinema, or anybody
Liz?
that's on there? We got 7 now, so I don't know
Yes.
who else is on
Oh, I
there.
have 6 on here.
Oh,
Yeah, welcome. Who's ever jumping in here to this conversation? We're talking about
we're
horror movies.
talking about horror movies on Halloween. So,
Looking for classics. We hit on a couple of more traditional ones and then some more obtuse ones, and then we're talking about more modern stuff right now.
yeah. Anybody out there seen Barbarian? That's what the question is that we're posing to the chat right now.
Because that one definitely had a freaky creepiness.
Very,
to it.
very freaky, creepy.
Not the way you think. That was with Skarsgård, who was
Yeah.
the It Clown and
Yeah.
also in Boy
Yeah.
Kills World.
Yeah.
Oh, and he was also in John Wick. He
Yeah.
was in everything.
And wasn't the girl from Game of Thrones?
No, she wasn't in that. You're,
Oh,
talking,
okay.
you're thinking of the Dracula movie.
Oh!
and The Invitation.
The
We forgot
Invitation.
about The Invitation.
Another Dracula-based movie that we've seen within the last year. The
Yeah.
Invitation.
That was actually, I mean, it wasn't the best movie, but it was entertaining because it kind of took a little more of a different angle
Yeah.
on things.
Yeah.
And it was the sidekick in Game of Thrones of the Dragon Queen,
Right.
Khaleesi. I forgot what her name was. It
Yeah.
was that actress who played kind of her side helper or
Yeah.
whatever.
And she was good in this movie.
Yeah.
But so yeah, that was The
She
Invitation.
just had a lot to carry in that movie.
Let me pull up my Letterboxd app.
Ooh, the Letterboxd. What are you up to, by the way? Blu-ray ownership at this point? Are you up to 7,000?
I have 7,600 Blu-rays right now. That's how many I own.
Wow, this guy's a major Blu-ray collector, so
Yeah.
we're always loving to hear.
Someday we need to do an episode of me just walking through my Blu-ray collection because
Through your vault.
yeah. So Brewing into Cinema says he's not seen Barbarian, I think is what he's talking about.
Oh, you got to watch that movie.
And neither is T. Weber.
Oh, you both have to watch that movie because it's one of those where it starts in a very certain way, and you're at first wondering what's going on. Is it this? And then it, we don't want to give it away, but it takes a very dramatic turn.
Right.
So, and the title has multiple meanings. Let's put it that way.
Right.
So, but that one was really well done, modern horror.
You know, another movie that I've just seen recently, it's a few years old, but it's going back to the zombie genre, is the Korean movie Train to Busan. You have not seen this yet.
That's a
'cause-
zombie one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've seen that on my own.
The Train to Busan.
Yeah.
You saw that one?
Yeah.
That was really good. And you know what? The zombies in Korean movies, they don't shamble.
Oh yeah.
They
yeah.
run full speed at you.
Right.
And like that is horrifying. It
Kingdom.
is so,
If you guys like zombies,
Yeah.
watch Kingdom. If you like zombies and samurai movies.
well, and I mean, there's no samurais in Korea, but it's like whatever their version
yeah,
of samurai,
kingdom,
feudal
Night-
warlords, right?
Yeah.
And it's during 1500s
Yeah.
Korea, but it's a zombie flick. But you know what's interesting about the zombies in that is, we actually did a zombie 2-part
It
episode.
was a 4-part episode. We never got the second.
I know. We actually filmed 4 parts, zombie show, just talking about zombie rules, zombie movies, all this stuff.
Details of
We only put out 2 episodes of it. The other 2 are in the can because they didn't get very many views, and
It
we were
took,
we were beginning. It was our first year, so.
Yeah.
But anyways, we did a whole episode on zombie rules, all about what kills a zombie, how a zombie's created, just talking about zombie rules. And in the Korean zombie movies, they break some of the rules and create their new ones, like zombies can't come out at during the daytime.
During the daytime.
Yeah, it's almost like
They
vampires.
sleep under all the things.
So yeah,
which
they
is
sleep
so
under all the
creepy.
buildings
You all
during
see them like
the
curled
daytime.
up almost like animals, underneath the housing of
You're right.
Japan. It's Korea.
Korean, yeah,
Feudal Korea,
yeah,
and then the running,
yeah, and they run full speed.
and they're
actually.
like, yeah,
and there's
freaky.
there's some other zombie rules they break in that. We talk about that in our episode for zombie rules, but we do recommend it because it is so entertaining.
It's
It's
called
so good.
Kingdom.
It's
on
Kingdom
Netflix.
on Netflix. Yeah.
So let's see. We got a couple of questions.
Oh, do we?
What do we got here? I'm trying to get my girl into watching horror films with me. Do you guys have any recommendations for her as a first timer diving into the world of horror movies?
Mm.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I agree with you. A lot of times, girls might have some problems. You have 3 girls, so
I have 3 daughters.
I'm assuming you've seen all the Scream movies,
Yeah.
because those
You know
tend
what?
to be a little bit more,
Yeah.
in that.
I would
genre.
recommend those 90s like Scream. That because it's not supernatural really,
Right.
but it's a jump scare kind of thing. So get her started off with that before you go to anything supernatural. There's also I Know What You Did Last Summer, kind of another series. That one has Jennifer Love Hewitt and there's a couple of those. I would recommend those.
And Fright Night.
So if you want to go to a vampire movie, have you seen Fright Night from the 80s? Because there's another one that came out in the 2000s remake with Colin Farrell. They try to do shot by shot kind of remake.
They came back with it. Yeah, right.
Not good.
It's not good.
Not
No.
good.
Go back to the original. It has what's her name? Sarandon. What's her name?
No.
It's Chris Sarandon.
Chris Sarandon.
Yeah,
Yes.
he's her brother of
Susan Sarandon.
Susan Sarandon. He plays the vampire. But what was really interesting about Fright Night is there's a lot of humor in it because it's a next door neighbor who's kind of like sensed it. And then and you say your girl, so I'm not sure if this is young or what age you guys are, but Salem, it's a lot that just came out. There was the original Stephen King book from like 1976, 77. They made a movie in 1979, and then HBO just came out and released it like 3 weeks ago and remade it.
Yeah.
And
he said they just watched it.
They
They didn't like it.
Didn't like it. All right.
Yeah.
You didn't like that one. All right.
Yeah.
Well, let's so we're gonna need to get a good solid recommendation.
How about
you didn't like
did you
Salem's Lot?
see Warm Bodies?
No, I didn't see Warm Bodies.
Warm Bodies is one where a guy and girl are dating and the guy turns into a zombie, but he's fighting off the zombieism and he's dating the girl. So it's a comedy. Yeah.
It's a comedy. Yeah. Isn't that with Nicholas Hoult?
Yeah. Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah.
I mean, so if you're going to get her into a zombie movie, get her one where she's laughing first, right?
We're in the mid 30s. Okay.
Oh, mid-30s? Okay.
Yeah.
If you have not seen Shaun of the Dead yet, watch Shaun of the Dead with her, with your girlfriend, because, you're going to see zombies in it, and there is a little bit of gore to it, but it's going to have you laughing at the same time. So you can have her laughing a little bit and, a little bit interested, and then you can take her to, 28 days later. You know what I mean?
I was about
Something
to
like
say
that.
28 days. You like zombie and freakish zombie.
Yeah.
If you guys are into The Walking Dead whatsoever, you got to watch 28 Days Later, 28 hours later is the first one, 28 days later. And then we talked about this earlier. There's going to be 28 years later coming out in 2 years.
Yeah, brewing into cinema. I didn't like the latest Fright Night either.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying avoid that one.
Oh, yeah. That one was bad.
Yeah.
The better one is, so have you ever seen any of the original Planet of the Apes? Because the guy who played Cornelius, his name is Roddy McDowall, he shows up as kind of a sideshow. Well,
Peter. He's like a
he's like a
Van Helsing, like
Van
kinda.
Helsing, but he does it more like a magician.
Like
it's a
Sven
faked
Gulli.
act. He's like a Sven Gulli if you're from, I don't know where you're from. But and so the funny thing about that movie is that the next door neighbor is watching his older guy next door bringing girls home and throwing body bags out. I haven't seen this movie for a while. But so the original Fright Night is actually kind of got a lot more humor in it. And they've got this like high-end, very famous star that played Cornelius. Roddy McDowell is like the magician that comes in and helps the kid out.
Yeah.
So that one was entertaining. I didn't see the new one to say one way or another, but it was.
Oh, no.
Well,
That's the worst Planet of the Apes bring into cinema.
no.
That is the worst.
You got to
Planet
go
of
with the
Apes.
back to the beginning. The Charlton Heston that came out in like 72.
68.
Was it 68?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the poster, but
Yeah.
we don't have it up.
So,
But let's see. What other horror movies that for lack of a better description, romantic horror movies, that aren't too gory, but are a little jump scare. And you're like,
yeah. I don't know. There's a lot of good ones out there. The Bram Stoker's Dracula might be
those
pretty
are
good.
always cutting edge.
Yeah, the one with Francis Ford Coppola that has Keanu Reeves and Winona Ryder in it. That's the one you need to watch.
And we talked a little bit earlier before you joined, we were talking about Dracula AD 72, and that one is in swinging London in 1972. So there's all these references to Austin Powers type things.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
if you wanted to go more like pulp horror, I guess.
Interview with the Vampire. I'm trying to think if your girl would like that. It's not
slow to
scary.
me.
It's very slow, but she might like that. I don't know. I don't know what your girlfriend would like, but all right. Well,
let the right one in. What do you mean let the right one in?
Yeah.
No gory vampire. You want to got off of Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, that one was terrible.
Well, Dane, it's that time.
Oh, is it that
It
time?
is,
I think
yeah.
we've got 5 on. We'll stay on if they want us to stay on.
No, not me.
Can't keep
I
going?
don't do these live streams well, so
We're only doing
I have
them
to
once
work.
a year.
I work tomorrow, and I'm
What
pretty
time is
good.
it?
So
9:30, dude.
I know.
You
So
sure?
I want to thank everybody who came on and shared some time with us.
Yeah.
Thank you for helping us get to 5,000 subscribers. We're now at 5,149. So like in this hour and a half, we've gotten about 160 subscribers. That's crazy.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh,
What?
Brewing in a Cinema says she loves Brad Pitt, so she might enjoy Interview with the Vampire.
Oh.
Then maybe watch World War Z too.
Oh, yeah. World War Z with Brad Pitt. Very well done movie. We have the zombie book back here, that courtesy of you. Where is it? Oh, here it is. This is what that movie was based on.
Yep. No, not this one.
Yeah, that
This is the movie that World War Z. It's actually, there is a book called World War Z.
Oh, but
So-
it's the same
but
author, right?
it is the same author, and he wrote this one first. It's Max Brooks, who, believe it or not, the son of Mel Brooks. He wrote this. It's called The Zombie Survival Guide. This is a really cool book. Talks about how to survive the zombie apocalypse. And then he followed this up with World War Z. So,
Yeah. And if you're into beer, this is my favorite beer of all time. Zombie Dust by
Yeah.
Three Floyds.
yeah.
Coolest label.
So, yeah. I mean,
We
there's
love
all,
zombies.
we love zombies. So, it's one of our favorite horror genres. So, well, once again, thanks for coming in, guys. We really appreciate it. We liked all the questions and talking horror movies. We could do that like all day if we wanted to.
I could do it for 30 minutes more. You
Yeah.
don't want to do it.
No. So, but I, once again, wanted to say thank you so much for supporting us and being on our live stream. So,
Yeah.
Daniel, want to
Hey,
say anything?
I think we should do this a little bit more often, but we do it once a
Maybe.
year at minimum, and this time we didn't have any glitches.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
thumbs up, success.
Yeah. Thumbs up, everybody.
But hey, thanks, Liz, and whoever Brewing into Cinema is. We
Yeah.
always love the feedback. And
If you haven't done it yet, make sure to hit like on this for us. So we would appreciate that.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yep. All right. And I hope you had a great Halloween 2024. we'll see you in Halloween 2025.
Well, we're gonna try to do this a little more often.
All right.
Once in a while. Now we gotta kind of get it down.
Yeah, we're going to try to do that interview with Rebecca Kennedy. So we'll see how that goes. All right. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Have a great night. Yeah.